These newspaper article readings are not for the faint-hearted or the squeamish. If you're at all sensitive, I might suggest these aren't for you. If in doubt, check the description below. It'll tell you which topics are covered in this particular episode. There's both human and animal suicides, and you heard that right. There's also horrific descriptions of injuries, as well as the deaths of youngsters. So don't do it to yourself if you're prone to nightmares, is all I'll say right now. Not all the articles are horrible. Some of them are uplifting, some of them show incredible bravery and heroism. There are near misses. So these were picked as showing life prior to health and safety, as well as for the crazy and curious details some contain, with other miscellaneous happenings that kind of struck me enough to post the articles to Twitter, despite not having too much relevance to Scotland necessarily. These are worldwide topics, and they didn't have any real connection to the projects that I was working on and researching at the time. I just happened to have come across them by the way, kind of thing. So we'll get into them, shall we? What we're going to do here is we're going to do a lucky dip of newspaper articles to really mix them up a wee bit, because while I'm doing the researches, I'm obviously coming up with the same kind of terms and things. So we'll mix them up even further. So to that end, I have all of the newspaper titles and dates of the articles. Shall we see what today brings us? We're starting with the Dundee Courier for the 16th of June 1905. Let's see what we have. This is a weird article. An English soldier's pranks. There was a suspicion in Sheriff Campbell Smith's mind, to which he gave expression, that there was more behind the case of a young man named William Thompson Carter, a soldier, at present located at Barry, than appeared from the simple nature of the complaint with which he was charged in Dundee Sheriff Court yesterday. The allegation was that he struck a newsboy while in the East Station, and his lordship, in imposing a penalty of 25 shillings, or 25 days' imprisonment, warned Carter against playing such pranks in Scotland, whatever he might do in England. And that's from the Dundee Courier for the 16th of June 1905. I don't know where prank comes into it. It just seems like he assaulted a newsboy. That doesn't seem like a prank to me. It doesn't say why. He's obviously felt like the newsboy was beneath him in some way. But yeah, I don't understand how that's a prank. But on to the next. Oh, double dunter. Edinburgh Evening News for the 20th of September 1906, followed by the Hartlepool Northern Daily Mail for the 1st of October 1906. Let's see what we have here. Alright, I really remember this one. You'll see why in a minute. It's grotesque. Dog's spine for a man. Surgeons at Medicine Hat, Canada, have succeeded in inserting about 2 inches of a dog's spinal column in the spine of an engine driver named Glover, whose back was broken in a railway accident there recently. The man is said to be recovering. That's from the Edinburgh Evening News for the 20th of September 1906, followed by another article, Man with a Dog's Spine. Mr. Glover, a Grimsby customs official, has received news of the death of his brother as a result of a railway accident in Canada. Deceased was an engine driver, and in the accident 2 inches of his spinal column were wholly destroyed. The surgeons tried to replace it by part of the spinal column of a dog. For a time it seemed as if success would crown their efforts, but a relapse came and Glover died. And that's from the Hartlepool Northern Daily Mail for the 1st of October 1906. That's horrible. I don't know, that's just... I don't think I would have opted for... How did they land on dog? Why a dog spine? Why not a pig spine? Or... There's just so much wrong with that article in my mind. It's just... But there you go. So that's an attempt that was made in 1906 by surgeons in Canada. I'll have another one. The Coatbridge Leader for the 26th of August 1905. Alright, well this is an upbeat story. Rescue from drowning. A plucky rescue from drowning from the canal took place on Sunday evening. A number of boys were playing on the canal bank near to the footbridge that connects Bank Street with the entrance to the Caledonian station when one of their number fell into the water. The alarm was at once raised, and a young man named Smelly, residing in Lefroy Street, who was passing at the time, divested himself of his coat and jumped in and succeeded in bringing the lad to the bank. The little fellow seemed none the worse of his immersion, while his rescuer, who deserves every praise for the promptitude with which he acted, had his Sunday best completely drenched and completely spoiled. He also sprained one of his ankles. And that's from the Coatbridge Leader for the 26th of August 1905. And that is a good story. That is a happy story, and it contains one of Random Scottish History's favourite words, promptitude, which you might already know from the railway videos. We kind of latched onto that one. So that, yeah, that's good. Well done, Mr. Smelly. On yourself. Let's see what we have for our fourth story, since these have been wee ones. We have the Hamilton Herald and Lanarkshire Weekly News for the 18th of December 1903. Okay, it's another wee article. We have an extraordinary case in England. A marvellous accident due to underground workings also occurred at Hanley on Monday. While walking along St John Street, Hanley, a man named Thomas Holland suddenly disappeared beneath the pavement. An investigation of the cavity revealed the presence of a disused mine shaft, the timbering at the top of which had at last given way. All efforts to recover the body were futile, and at length there was witnessed the strange and solemn scene of a burial service at the edge of the dead man's strange burial place in the now barricaded street. And that's from the Hamilton Herald and Lanarkshire Weekly News for the 18th of December 1903. Well, that's horrible. But they couldn't recover his body too. His family will have been devastated at that. But there you go. If you're anywhere in the vicinity of St John Street, Hanley, you know what's beneath your feet now. These have all been very short, so I think we even have time for a fifth. So hopefully something a little more upbeat than people's descents into the unknown. Oh, this is a long title. Alright, okay, so it's Montrose Arbroath and Brechin Review and Forfar and Kincardineshire Advertiser for the 17th of May 1907. Find out what this has to finish us off. Ah, well, we can't always get what we wish for. So we're finishing with American train wreck. 28 persons killed, 50 injured. It's from San Francisco on Sunday. A special train bearing the delegates of the Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine from Los Angeles to San Francisco yesterday was derailed at Santa Barbara, about 100 miles from Los Angeles, and 28 are reported to be killed and 50 injured. The debris of the train took fire from the engine, and several victims of the accident were burned to death, as it was impossible to extricate them. The train was composed almost entirely of heavy Pullmans running on the coast route of the Southern Pacific Railway, and, owing to some defect in the line, which runs along a high embankment close to the sea at Santa Barbara, became derailed and rolled down the embankment to the seashore. The whole train was involved in the disaster, and the Pullmans crushed the other coaches and ground themselves to pieces as they rolled down. 2 of the cars in the rear of the train were less injured than the others and did not make the whole flight down the embankment. The passengers in these cars hastily went to the rescue of their less fortunate fellow travellers. A bucket brigade was formed, and every receptacle available pressed into service, and seawater dipped from the ocean was thrown over the burning wreckage. Help was brought from Santa Barbara, but before the flames could be extinguished, several of those who had not been killed outright and were imprisoned by the debris were burned before the eyes of their would-be rescuers. And that's from the Montrose, Arbroath and Brecon Review and Forfar and Kincardineshire Advertiser for the 17th of May, 1907, and that finishes this episode. Sorry. Maybe see you next time.